I can't wait to get started looking for whooping cranes and other wildlife. I've come to Aransas National Wildlife Refuge, close to Rockport, to see the whooping cranes. They're an amazing bird. They stand 5 feet tall and have a wingspan of 7 to 8 feet. The first stop on this adventure was Aransas National Wildlife Refuge. I didn't see any whooping cranes today, but my experience with wildlife on this trip was as good as it gets. I enjoyed seeing some of the more common birds as I started taking pictures for this trip. The only thing that slowed this reddish egret down for a moment was a small fish, which was gone in a second. In South Texas, you also need to be aware of who may be watching you. Don and Mark had invited me to join them on a boat with Captain Laurie. The next morning, our day was delayed due to heavy fog. We could see the whooping cranes in their natural habitat, which is a blessing, but we weren't able to capture the pictures we dreamed of. The most interesting picture during the fog was a fog bow, also called a cloud bow. Think rainbow, but with fog. As the fog lifted, Captain Laurie worked hard to make sure we were in position to see additional wildlife. I was in awe of seeing the whooping cranes. In 1941, it was estimated there was only between 14 and 22 whooping cranes in the world. As we traveled back to the dock, we went past small islands and peninsulas which several birds were using for nesting. I actually think this is a Franklin's gull based on the slight rose color on the breast of the bird. The whooping crane remains endangered, with the current flock that migrates from Texas to Northwest Territory in Canada of 538 birds. Don had spent time in the area before and led us to the Rockport rookery, a breeding location for the great blue herons. It was fun to watch the birds bring sticks to their mates to build a nest, and occasionally a special gift to impress their loved ones. After the rookery, we moved locations to a neighborhood with a couple of deer feeders. The wildlife attracted to the feeders is a strange mix, but interesting to watch. Having the whooping cranes fly directly overhead was amazing, and helped give us perspective on just how large these cranes are. What a great experience to see them up close. Sandhill cranes are large birds, but the whooping cranes are much larger. Each endangered species has its own story, although there are some common themes: destruction of wildlife habitat and hunting. Currently, if you kill a whooping crane, it's a $250,000 fine and potential jail time. Sadly, Usually only a fraction of this is enforced. Whooping cranes mate for life and can live up to 30 years in the wild. Typically, a pair of whooping cranes will have a territory of approximately 2 square miles and defend it from other whooping cranes, so it is unusual to see more than 2 at a time. This evening we saw 15 whooping cranes in the same area. Nature can sometimes be cruel, and during the drought of 2011, a quarter of the whooping crane flock died as not enough fresh water was available. Wells have been drilled to provide fresh water for these special birds through droughts that take place in the future. So I'm across the street from the Rockport Rookery, and I'm trying to get a picture of an osprey fishing. Not real easy. Osprey have an oily waterproof coating on their feathers, which allows them to dive into the water to catch fish. They also have strong wings, which give them additional lift to fly out of the water even when carrying a large fish. Terns are another bird which fish. Humans also like to fish, but some don't manage their equipment correctly, as I was able to find 6 balls of discarded fishing line in a short radius of where I was standing. The next morning was perfect. Morning light, no wind or fog, and more whooping cranes. It was fun to be able to watch the whooping cranes catch and eat crabs. Captain Laurie told us a typical whooping crane will eat approximately 80 silver dollar sized crabs in a day. Watching the young whooping crane colt hunt for crabs was a particularly special experience, and the crabs felt they had a fighting chance. But the colt was hungry and was just as successful as the parents in finding and eating the crabs. Although it was entertaining, as the crab at times had a hold of the colt's beak. We didn't realize just how special this time had been with the baby whooping crane called a colt until Captain Laurie informed us she was only aware of 2 colts having made it this year to the wintering grounds in Texas. Oh my God, was that cool. The show never seemed to end with Captain Laurie. We noticed she had her camera out a couple of times, and this told us just how special this trip was. Captain Laurie has a unique understanding of the wildlife, and with a whistle was able to bring the dolphins so close to the boat. Amazing. Just incredible wildlife. Wow. Before I headed home, I decided to take a trip a little further south to the Leonabelle Turnbull Birding Center. I love being outside. You just never know what you're going to see. As I took a ferry to start my journey back home, I reflected on all the special wildlife I had the joy of seeing and started to think about the spring bird migration coming in April.